I'm going to share with you two poems that are in here again. I'm going to share with you poetry that is in Touching the Moon, but they are also two poems. This is the fun thing about being an editor. Somebody sends something that relates to a story, which is why I've got my periodic table stuff in these issues. I would follow it up with something that appears in another book. I have two poems because somebody was doing something about a lot of abortion issues, so I put in two poems that had not been in cc&d magazine that also happens to appear in the Cyberwit book Testament. For those who don't know, it comes in four parts. The first part, which is over half the first half of the book, is all pro-women's rights post-Roe v. Wade poetry after the overturning. And then there are issues about dealing with suicide, and then there are poems from the first book in the Old Testament and 3 poems from the end of the last book of the New Testament. And take with that what you will. I'm not going to share those with you, but I'm going to share with you 2 abortion-themed poems that are in this book, both of these books, you know. And I kind of wish that Susan was here to be able to hear them, although, you know, oh well, what can I do? This first poem is titled, "It Really Is All About Choice." There are some who may argue that a fetus with no mouth to express their lack of emotion while inside a womb doesn't have a choice when a woman terminates a pregnancy. So religiously infused legislators eliminate the choice of the woman, the adult, full-grown, voting woman, by giving that choice to something that isn't even born. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, individuals gained their choice back, as press polls indicated that parents with children going to colleges in states supporting restricting women's rights are telling their children that they would not pay for them to continue school at a state so restrictive to women, to adult, full-grown, voting women. If a state does not tell a young woman that they are entitled to terminate a pregnancy after a rape, I'm not sure I'd be spending my money on education in that state, if I may quote U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill. High school students, junior year, senior year, approaching college, now reconsider college choices in these restrictive states after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I would not consider going to a school in a state where abortion is against the law, is only one quoted teen. But she is not alone. But what of the women already in college, when sorority presidents even call the new abortion law just terrifying? But there may be a mischievous light at the end of the tunnel when even in Texas Tech University in Lubbock, a self-described sanctuary for the unborn, where abortion is banned, students pass around sticks of gum in a freedom of speech zone with info on where to get medical abortion pills. Yeah, it's come to this, making it look like you're sharing sticks of gum to get info about protecting women's rights. Which means it comes down to this. For those stuck in these situations, these adult, full-grown voting women may be able to vote for change, though I'm sure they'll escape the college states who kidnap their rights long before they see real change. What ripple effect will this overturning of women's rights cause? Will school choice change? Will voting choices change? Will population numbers literally change after some in government try to turn their country back to the dark ages? Religious people talk about seeing the light, but the repression they see is darkness for far too many women. Trust me, the light they claim to see blinds them to equality for all living beings. It really is a matter of choice. That was in a show, the first one I did at Tangible Books, that was closing the book on women's rights. I might as well show you the cover of the chapbook that went with that, but you know, I was also selling the book, so I wasn't really hyping the chapbook during the feature. But this one was not shared anywhere, and I'm sharing it with you guys, and it is also not only in the cc&d book I have to keep showing them off, Touching the Moon, but also in the Cyberwit book Testament. Dun, dun, dun. and it is called unconstitutionality. Understanding how laws are supposed to be made in the United States. Understanding that although we like to define more rights to people, we must also understand that our own government should never wield that much power. So, although we women have fought for things that seem so basic to us, like the right to vote or equal pay, I say with a heavy heart that the U.S. government may not have had the right to say that all women have the right to an abortion. I say that because it's not the government's place. Powers not stated in the Constitution, quote, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people, so saith the 10th Amendment. So actually, Roe v. Wade may have overstepped our country's boundaries. I just didn't realize Bible-belted, misogynistic, backwards parts of this nation would devise laws designed to hurt all women in case Roe v. Wade was overturned, so they could all pounce, just in case. This bothers me. It rattles me to my core that after we've worked so hard and are smarter than over half a lot, you make a religious claim that can't even have control over our own reproductive rights. I'm too emotional about this. I'm sorry. So I try to ground myself in reality. For science, based on reason and rationality, that has often been strangled by religion. But logic, science, has always prevailed throughout history. The wait may seem so long for women fighting after the laws changing after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, but those laws, after they made their own laws to degrade all women it comforts me to see that after the most restrictive laws came the Lone Star State. Over half of Texans now believe in abortion rights. If women thought courts were against us, smile after a Michigan judge finds criminalizing most abortions in the state's 1931 law, 2 years older than the overturning of prohibition, is unconstitutional. These corrections are hope that women's biology and reason will prevail. Unconstitutionality. Oh, I know. Thank you guys. Oh, you're seeing the back cover, which still has the moon. It still has the moon on it. Anyway, cc&d and Testament from Cyberwit Press. Thank you, gents. Thank you, fat guys, for listening. I'm ready for more poetry, and I will not subject you guys to anything more about women's rights stuff. I'm checking to make sure. Nope, nothing in here is about that screaming about, yay, give us the right to an abortion. No, that isn't what my argument is about, really. It isn't. Because people can't have children from IVF clinics because that is considered a life form, and they didn't realize you make statements like this and it snowballs into so much more. But anyway, I'll stop babbling about it and give it up for my Zoom host, David. The stage is yours, and please lighten the spirits for him. And I look forward to hearing you, and I will mute myself now. Thank you.